Hey, my fellow anglers and fishing fanatics, welcome back to the channel. Your old friend is here, ready to dive deep into what promises to be a fascinating day on the water. Today, we're talking about the 28th of November 2025, across our beloved United Kingdom. This isn't just another late autumn day, friends. It's a day that's going to challenge us, excite us, and if we play our cards right, reward us handsomely. I'm going to reveal why this specific day could be a real game changer for your winter fishing tactics, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single cast after hearing this forecast. The conditions are setting us up for some truly tactical fishing, where finding the sweet spots will be absolutely key. So grab a brew, settle in, and let's get into it, because understanding these late autumn conditions is the secret to success. Alright, let's talk about our finned friends, because knowing what they're up to is half the battle in these cooling waters. First up, the mighty pike. My friends, the water is definitely cooling down, and these ambush predators are actively looking to pack on some serious weight before the really lean times of deep winter set in. This means they are concentrated and actively feeding, but often require a slower presentation. You'll want to target those classic holding spots. Think deeper sections of larger lakes, especially around pronounced drop-offs where shallower water quickly gives way to deeper troughs. Look intently for submerged structures like old sunken trees, dense reed beds that are thinning out, or even bridge pillars and jetties. These are prime ambush points where baitfish will congregate for warmth and shelter, and where the pike will be patiently waiting for an easy meal. For tackle, a medium to heavy spinning rod, perhaps in a 10 to 30 gram casting weight, is your best bet. Try larger lures such as jerkbaits or soft plastic shads, maybe 6 to 8 inches long, worked slowly and methodically, with plenty of pauses to let the lure flutter enticingly. My little trick here, especially in colder water, is to use a sea-dead bait like mackerel or sardine, or even a freshwater roach, ledgered near those deeper drop-offs. A slow, almost static presentation, perhaps just bumping the bait once every few minutes, is absolutely key in this colder water. Patience, my friends, will pay off. Next, let's turn our attention to the feisty perch. These striped warriors are usually quite active in November, and they absolutely love chasing lures, making them a fantastic target. With water temperatures trending downwards, perch will be on the hunt for easy meals before the deep cold truly sets in. They'll be shoaling tightly, sometimes in groups of dozens, and seeking slightly warmer, deeper areas. Think river bends, deep pools, or the deeper margins of canals and lakes, particularly those with a bit of cover. A small spinnerbait, maybe size 1 or 2, a soft plastic grub on a light jig head, or even a tiny jig, worked slowly along the bottom, will often entice a bite. For incredibly subtle presentations in colder water, a small drop-shot rig with a tiny 1.5 inch soft plastic is a fantastic option. The key is to find one perch, and you've likely found the entire shoal, so keep working the area thoroughly. And for our dedicated coarse fishing fans, let's talk about chub and roach. These beautiful silver fish can still provide excellent sport in late autumn, proving themselves as true all-weather warriors. Chub will feed all winter long, and they'll be seeking slack water away from the main flow where they don't have to expend too much energy. Look for them in creases behind fallen trees, in deep bends of the river where the current is slack, or behind any substantial features like bridge supports. When it comes to bait, small pieces of bread flake, maggots, casters, or even a tiny piece of cheese paste will be deadly. For roach, with the cooling water, they'll be shoaling tightly and seeking deeper, slightly warmer water, often concentrating in large groups in predictable spots. My advice here is to scale down your tackle dramatically. Think light float setups with a 4-pound main line and a 2-pound hook length, or a small feeder rig packed with a fine, dark ground bait. Natural baits like maggots, casters, or a small piece of bread punch will be very effective. Look for them in the deeper, slower sections of rivers and canals and the silty bottoms of still waters where they can find some thermal stability. Now let's break down the environmental conditions that are shaping our fishing day for the 28th of November 2025. The weather. Across the United Kingdom, we're looking at a varied picture, which often means opportunity if you're prepared for anything. In the northern parts of the UK, temperatures will be on the colder side, ranging from around 1 to 6 degrees Celsius, or 34 to 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Here, we might even see some light rain mixed with snow, making for quite wintry conditions. Further south, in places like England, it will be milder, around 7 to 10 degrees Celsius, or 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit during the daytime. We're expecting breezy to very strong winds, especially up in Scotland, so brace yourselves. Across much of the UK, the average wind speed will be about 12 miles per hour, or 19 kilometers per hour, so you'll definitely feel it. Atmospheric pressure might be a bit unstable with these mixed conditions, and fish can sometimes be finicky during sharp changes. However, if the pressure stabilizes throughout the day, it can mean consistent feeding once you manage to locate them. These conditions, especially the wind and colder air, will push fish deeper, seeking shelter and more stable water temperatures. Water temperature. This is perhaps one of the most critical factors for late autumn fishing. Inland freshwater bodies across the UK will likely be cold, hovering around 6 to 10 degrees Celsius or 43 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and they'll continue their slow, steady cooling trend as the month progresses towards winter. Coastal sea temperatures will average around 10 to 14 degrees Celsius or 50 to 57 degrees Fahrenheit, though in some sheltered estuaries it might be slightly warmer. This cooling trend is absolutely crucial, my friends. As cold-blooded creatures, fish metabolism slows significantly with falling temperatures. This prompts them to seek out slightly warmer, deeper areas where the temperature is more stable, offering them a refuge. This is your cue. Find the deeper water, find the fish. They will be less inclined to chase fast-moving baits in these conditions, preferring a meal that requires minimal effort. The moon phase. On this 28th of November 2025, we will be under a first-quarter moon. The moon will be about 7.6 to 7.9 days old, with an illumination of around 51 to 55% of its visible surface. Now you know the old angler's tales. Many believe that waxing phases like the first quarter can lead to increasing fish activity as the moon gains light and its gravitational pull strengthens. While some anglers often look for the new or full moon phases for peak feeding frenzies, a first quarter can still provide good feeding windows, especially around dawn and dusk or during periods of stable weather. However, from my experience, immediate weather changes like those strong winds or sudden shifts in temperature and prolonged, stable conditions often influence fish more significantly than the moon phase itself. That said, it's always a factor to consider and certainly doesn't rule out a great day of fishing. Overall fish activity. So, considering all these factors, the varying temperatures, the breezy to strong winds, the mixed precipitation, the persistently cooling water, and the fish's undeniable drive to feed before winter truly sets in, my overall assessment for fishing on the 28th of November is a capricious to good bite for predators like pike and perch, and slow but possible for coarse fish. The cooling water and unsettled weather mean fish will be active in bursts but potentially quite finicky. Patience, careful bait presentation, and adapting to the specific conditions of your chosen venue will be your greatest assets. The fish are definitely transitioning further into their winter behavior. The aggressive feeding sprees of early autumn are becoming less frequent. They are conserving energy, so our presentations need to be much slower and more precise. The cold will concentrate both prey fish and predators into specific areas, so once you find them, you can have a fantastic day of sport. Don't be afraid to move around until you hit that hot spot. So there you have it, my fellow anglers. Wrap up warm, layer up, and be strategic in your approach, and you could have some incredible fishing. I wish you nothing but the best of luck out there. Tight lines, and of course, absolutely no tails or scales. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, to join our growing community, and let me know in the comments below. What are your go-to tactics for late autumn fishing in these colder conditions? What's your favorite winter species to target and why? I love hearing about your adventures and tips.